Before we begin, feel where your body is touching something. The chair, the floor, the fabric you're wearing, the ground beneath your life. You don't have to agree with me. You don't need to improve anything. Just let your body listen. This is not advice. This is a transmission. Take what lands, and leave the rest. I want to tell you about the day I realized I'd stopped feeling anything. I'd stopped feeling anything. I was on this amazing journey. I embarked on this solo adventure of traveling through Southeast Asia. And I should have been ecstatic. I was fulfilling perhaps a lifelong dream. Backpacking through Southeast Asia, was getting up at sunrise to visit ancient temples in Cambodia. I was staying up all night at parties in Thailand. I got to snorkel and explore incredible beaches and islands in Vietnam and Malaysia. Everything was once again perfect. It should have been ecstatic. The kind of travel everybody dreams about. And I felt nothing. This island in Cambodia, super lush. You can only get there by private boat access. It's this entire bay with just nature, stunning nature. What are they called? Phosphorescence in the ocean. Like just magic, you know, you snip your fingers in the water and it's like as you wove a magic wand and there are just sparkles exploding in the ocean. And I was there with this man who truly admired me, and we shared an incredible beach bungalow and, you know, woke up to the sounds of the jungle, fell asleep to the sounds of the jungle. The kind of vacation many people dream of their entire lives. I'm also doing it perfectly. We're going snorkeling, we're going hiking, exploring the island, seeing incredible birds, making beautiful love. I am masterful in living my life, living my backpacking trip, living my vacation. Mastery to some degree, mastery of some kind. That was the seed. waking up, going to sleep. Beautiful tropical island, fish, colorful fish. Oh my god, rays in the ocean, little reef rays, reef sharks. Here we go. Birds I've never seen before, fresh fruit, fresh fish. And I realized my body was performing. My body was performing. I was there. But my nervous system was offline, so I was not there. I was living my life as if I were in a courtroom. Efficient, controlled, competent. Zero sensation. And finding words for that, right? Like this experience of where there's so much aliveness in itself already, in this like vibrant jungle environment, and all the fresh fruit, and also this lushness of nature, and this new love connection. And using those words of efficient, controlled, competent, that doesn't really go together, right? But I could not get out of it. I was so still in the courtroom. I was still so in the courtroom, which allowed for zero sensation. Zero sensation. The contrast, I had spent years chasing aliveness, or those little sparks of aliveness that were accessible to me through parties, raves in Casablanca, Vienna, New York City, London, Berlin, Hamburg, Paris, wild nights, wilder mornings, drugs, champagne, vodka, gin. A very specific kind of aliveness, which was to me at the time the only one that was accessible, the only one that was societally allowed. Adventure after adventure, again of a very specific kind. And believing, thinking, more intensity would make me feel more. Longer nights, later nights, more lovers, more drugs, more alcohol, more. And it was easy because I was in corporate law, diplomacy. I was living this lifestyle of where all of that is so welcome, right? It's so ingrained in this whole structure, in this whole system, where you have your afterworks, you have your social gatherings, you have your receptions at embassies. The drinking is such a huge part of the culture. More intensity would make me feel more alive. What actually happened, the more I performed aliveness, the less I actually felt it. The more I performed aliveness, the less I actually felt it. And I also must say that I always loved to dance. I would always go to the clubs to dance. I hated the people who were just standing on a dance floor talking. I'm like, this is not a talk floor, this is a dance floor. And those moments of moving my body, that was true aliveness. That was real aliveness from my center, from my core, from my cells, from my being. But on the outside, I performed it, right? I was performing my life. Sensation became optional. My body became a tool, functioning, not a temple. I could execute anything. I was really good at working with very tight deadlines, get on the thing, get it done. Love due diligences back in the day. It still meant like literally reading the whole things, reading all the contracts, taking notes. It was really exciting, really exhilarating, and to some degree it was a certain kind of aliveness, but I felt nothing. I wasn't even tired. I didn't even feel tired, even though, I spent 60 hours plus a week working, I felt nothing. And here I am in this stunning environment other people dream of experiencing their entire lives. I get up this morning on this private island in Cambodia, this beautiful jungle bungalow, hearing the sounds of the jungle, hearing the ocean waves gently crashing, walking over that sand that is squeaky because it's so fine. And I'm standing there looking out at the ocean. And I hear those noises, the ocean, the birds, the fresh morning. It smells beautiful. And the scenery is so stunning that it should hurt. And it dropped. Like this one question dropped. Like, when did I stop feeling this? When did I stop feeling any of this? High performers, myself included, optimize everything. How can this be tweaked? How can this be better? How can this be better? Yeah, optimization, more, better, faster. Including our bodies. More caffeine, biohacking, nothing against biohacking, but do the cold plunge in order to feel more alive, and do the breath work to do the thing, go to the gym, everything is optimization, including our bodies. We train ourselves to override sensation. We train ourselves out of, especially if you're sitting in a chair, staring at a screen for 10, 12 hours a day, most of your waking life. If you would actually feel what is going on inside of you, you'd be like, wow, no more. If you would feel your heart racing from all the coffee you're putting into yourself, from the sleepless nights, if you would actually feel the sensations of your vertebrae being squished from sitting all day long, if you actually feel the sensations of your jaw being so tight, of your forehead just being a knot, of your shoulders just being crunched up, that would be way too much. Way too much to feel. So the way to get through it is you grind, right? You push, you train yourself, and not only you yourself, really, again, an outcome, a product of society, of how things should function, starting very early. We put little humans of like 4, 5, 6 years into a chair 8 hours a day. Yeah, sit still. It starts very early, just like training ourselves to override sensation. Sensation is inconvenient. It slows us down. Drink less water, so you need to go pee less. Oh, you're on your period? Yeah, that's very inconvenient because then you might not be able to show up as you usually do. Etc., etc. It slows us down. It makes us inefficient. Sensation, being human makes us inefficient. Wow, being human makes us inefficient. So, your body became a machine. Function. Maybe you still go to the gym, in order for it to function. Tight jaw, shallow breath, dead pelvis. You can perform anything. You execute flawlessly. You keep your cool, you keep your calm, you stay collected in your billion-dollar deals, in your trades, also in your relationships, in the bedroom. And you feel absolutely nothing. You feel nothing. Zero. Maybe you still feel that you feel nothing, so you feel something. Ha! Tricked you. And while this happens, Performance requires control. Performance requires control. Aliveness requires surrender. Can you do both simultaneously? Can you control and surrender at the same time? Can you perform and can you feel fully alive at the same time? Performance, aliveness simultaneously. Control, surrender simultaneously. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think you can control aliveness. I don't think performance, I don't think surrender can be performed. So, performance anxiety is not just sexual. Performance anxiety is not just sexual. Performance anxiety is existential. Existential. Life or death. You've been trained to perform your entire life. Most of it, maybe all of it. Every conversation is a pitch. Every interaction has an agenda. Every pleasure becomes a metric, if there's still access to pleasure. It all must lead to something. It all must happen for a reason. It all must go somewhere. Must go somewhere. Saying that again, performance anxiety is not sexual. It's existential. Life or death. The CEO body, the high performance athlete body, always on. Never vulnerable. Sensation equals weakness. Efficiency equals survival. Feeling equals death. Sensation is weakness. Efficiency is survival. And I say, you cannot perform your way into aliveness. You cannot perform your way into aliveness. Aliveness has no strategy. No strategy for aliveness. Let me tell you what nobody taught you. Your body is not a machine. It's not a machine. Your body is not a machine. But you were trained to treat it like one. Push through the pain, mind over matter, winners never quit, keep going, success, 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 success. So you learned how to override hunger, thirst, exhaustion, pleasure, pain, everything. You learn to override everything, all sensations. Inconvenient. You learned that sensation is something to manage, not to feel. Sensation needs management, not actually awareness of the sensation. And it worked. You became unstoppable, unshakable, impressive. Go, go, go. You closed the deals. You won the races. You built the empire. You succeeded. But here is what they didn't tell you. When you numb yourself to pain, you also numb yourself to pleasure. when you override exhaustion, you lose access to aliveness. When you treat your body like a machine, eventually it shuts down. This shows up everywhere. You're putting your bare feet into squeaky white sand, but not feeling the sand, the warmth, the humidity, the moisture. You're heli skiing, but you're not feeling the snow. You're having sex, but not feeling the sensation. You're eating Michelin star meals that taste like cardboard. You're winning and wondering why it feels so empty. 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 Because performance and presence, they're opposites. You can execute perfectly. Wake up in your beach bungalow, mountain hut, close the deal. Execute perfectly. Feel deeply. Can you do both at the same time? Most men spend their entire lives choosing perfect execution. Perfection, execution. And already those words, they have no place in the bedroom. They have no place in intimacy, in relation. Cannot execute aliveness. What if you chose sensation instead? And I want to name that. That might be totally novel. That might be so new, so foreign, because it's so what you've been doing, what we've been doing our entire lives, and suddenly something needs to change. Maybe it's your partner saying like, yo, I'm getting divorced. Maybe your children don't even look at you anymore. Maybe your heart is really hurting. Maybe your erection is not part of the game anymore. What if you chose sensation instead? And again, the novelty of that, like it has been so long of the performance, of the pushing, of the grinding, of the holding it all together. So this idea of sensation might be very scary. And you might want to quit. You might want to quit. When did I learn to override my body's signals? Very young. Very early. Getting yelled at for laughing too loud or dancing too wildly. School is a great place to override young people's body signals. Sit still, don't talk. And my experience through the corporate world was really that you need to function. right? No ups and downs. Like you always need to show up at the same height with the same expertise. And the only way to do that is to override your body's signals. Have another coffee, don't get tired. What does your body want that you're not letting yourself have? Rest. I think for me that was always the biggest one. Because I was always so excited about life. Yeah, no matter the nuances of it, I was always so excited about showing up fully and doing the thing and closing the deal, but also moving my body and going dancing and meeting people. And the thing my body wants and I'm not letting myself have is rest. If you couldn't optimize it, would you still do it? Yeah, I'm doing it right now. This will be far from perfect, this whole project, and I'm still doing it. There's surely ways to optimize it, but right now they're not. And in my body, I don't know. I don't know. Let me ask you some questions. You don't need to answer out loud. Just feel into it. Side note, nobody wants to make love with a machine. Nobody wants to work with a machine. Nobody wants to be in relationship, be intimate with a machine. Yourself included. Let me ask you, where is your body a machine? Where is it an animal? Question number 2. When was the last time you felt sensation just for its own sake? Sensation for sensation's sake. Not to accomplish something, not to prove anything, just to feel. Question number 3. What would it mean to stop optimizing this? To let your body just be. If you feel this in your body, the weekly letter from me to you, from me, Flora Petri, to you, is below. This is where I share first about my exclusive private programs and what wants to move through me. Like, comment, share with someone who think you would benefit from this. Find me when you're ready.